the greatest comeback of recent years. Millions of fans are looking forward. Huge amounts of money and effort were spent on preparing this fight. Is it all in vain? Did the legendary, the notorious give up before even entering the octagon? Oof, it takes my breath away when I imagine this fight and when I see someone they raise their hand about how the fighters are preparing for the biggest fight of the year and some in their careers only in my video. Please watch until the end, it will be very interesting. This is how I would like to start my edition, but unfortunately the fight was cancelled and I have to make this voice insert, but I published the video anyway as planned because I spent a lot of time and effort on it. What's going on, Dana? Not too many cancellations and replacements lately? Two-weight league champion Conor McGregor will return after a serious injury and a 2-year break to fight Michael Chandler at a UFC 303. And while the American is plowing ahead of the main fight of his life, the Irishman is partying in clubs, sunbathing on a yacht, and advertising his beer. Chandler has been waiting for the fight with McGregor for more than a year and a half. The American and Irishman became coaches for their 31st season of The Ultimate Fighter in 2023 and the promotion announced their fight. Iron Michael dreamed of fighting with Conor in order to get rich and was ready to wait as long as he could. In the end, Chandler was rewarded and the promotion announced their battle. Judging by Michael's social media, he believed in the fight with Conor and did not stop training. Chandler worked on both strength and functional training, spared a lot and was distracted only by his family and to attend the next UFC tournament in the USA. And so, Michael is constantly in the gym, dieting, and look amazing. In addition, Michael is closely associated with CrossFit. The fighter has his own app, which publishes tips on training, fitness, nutrition, and thinking. Typically, an American athlete trains twice a day, 5 days a week with an extra session on Saturday. On Mondays and Tuesdays, Michael focuses on MMA, on Wednesdays power and cardio training, Thursday individual classes, Fridays power training, Saturday general and physical training. I don't spar with guys who are trying to rip my head off. I spar hard in the sense that I have a high training efficiency. I throw a lot of punches and kicks and do a lot of takedowns to keep my pulse up, shares Michael Chandler. As for nutrition, Chandler tries to eat plenty of fats and proteins, and he has eliminated carbohydrates from his diet. The fighter has meat and vegetables in his refrigerator, minced elk and beef, free-range eggs, salmon, spinach, broccoli, carrots, cucumbers, peppers, and beets. Sometimes an American can afford some sweet potatoes, rice, or gluten-free pasta. Of protein shakes, I prefer chocolate. There should be a frozen banana, some frozen fruit, goji berries, spirulina. I also like to add chopped nuts, in the words of Michael Chandler. But Chandler is indifferent to sweets. But most importantly, he's a true professional in his field who cannot afford to relax and is always in great shape. Will his fierce motivation and continuous training help Michael defeat the formidable Conor? Please write your opinion in the comments. It will be very interesting for me and others to read. Thank you. As for Conor, in January 2022, he promised his fans not to touch alcohol anymore. In March 2024, in an interview for a YouTube channel, McGregor said that he would now celebrate St. Patrick's Day and then be banned from the gym. The fighter will take ascesis from alcohol and begin to plow as if was the last time in his life. But a month before the fight, a video appeared on the internet in which Conor was having a great time in a nightclub, posing with bottles of whiskey and passionately kissing his wife, showing off an expensive watch, and then trying to get into the cleavage of a certain lady. You can immediately say that nothing terrible happened. The person went to rest after a hard week of work in the gym, and a day later he will return to the training process. But a couple of days later, Mac visited a pub in Dublin and posted the video himself on social media. Let's say that McGregor did not drink alcohol, but just walked and had fun. The Irishman visits the gym, posts photos and videos from there, but there are much more publications of whiskey and beer advertisements on the former champion's social networks. And let's not forget his famous training on a yacht, which is unlikely to have brought much benefit to the Irishman. And few weeks ago, Conor himself shared a video in which he boasted that after 2 o'clock in the morning he was still not at home. Later, the Irish fighter habitually erased his tracks, but the internet, as they say, remembers everything. And while fans are eagerly awaiting the return of their favorite and praying that he's preparing for the fight, Conor does not betray himself. He habitually shows off at events, ignores training, promises to knock out Islam Makhachev, and does not even consider Chandler to be an opponent. The first press conference ahead of UFC 303 was supposed to take place on 3rd of June at the 3 Arena in Dublin. If you think Conor has long since lost relevance, here is an interesting fact. All tickets for the event sold out in 9 minutes. 3 arena seats, 12,000 people, but who wouldn't want to see the country's biggest star? And in Dublin too. However, the press conference was cancelled for unknown reasons. I doubt that it's about Chandler, for whom any meeting with Conor is a holiday and a good opportunity to increase his media exposure. Many Conor fans dream of him returning with a resounding victory, and some believe that McGregor is deliberately distracting attention from the training camp with festivities. Most recently, boxer Ryan Garcia put on a great performance in front of Devin Haney and then demolished his opponent. Why shouldn't Conor do the same? What do you think? Perhaps this is one of their strategies before the fight? Be sure to write your opinion in the comments. It will be very interesting for me and others to read. Thank you. Let's think and judge for yourself. McGregor devotes one evening to content from pubs and nightclubs, but in fact he lives in the gym and prepares for the fight in order to defeat everyone, including Chandler. But if Garcia is only 25 years old, then Conor will soon turn 36, and he is a wealthy man who's unlikely to be chasing belts in the UFC despite loud statements. The Irishman initially chose a win-win strategy. If he wins, he will demand a little fight, and if he loses, he will say that he could not resist a bottle of good whiskey, and in general, camp turned out to be a blur. After Conor's third defeat, Nate Diaz will be brought back to the UFC for a trilogy fight. Poirier is ready to have 5 more fights with Conor to make good money, and Tony Ferguson is still collecting dust in the promotion. If the Irishman loses 10 fights in a row, he will be given an 11th simply because he's a superstar. But now McGregor looks more like a businessman, a movie star, a competent marketer but not a UFC fighter. Don Jones allowed himself to party the week of the fight, but he had psychological problems and he relieved stress in this way. Moreover, Bones was fighting for belts and was very worried, while Conor was just having a good time. Guys, don't forget, especially for you, in the description I left links to the other cool videos about our beloved UFC. Be sure to go and watch. Thank you. I believe that unless something extraordinary happens, then most likely we will see another failure of the once formidable Irish striker. It's hard to believe that the trained, motivated and charged Chandler will lose to a man who has long left the fight for the world of show business, cinema and entertainment. Stay safe, stay tuned. Like to kiss you.